There's a lot more to Escape from Tarkov than just learning what the best gear is, what the best guns and meta ammo is, getting a bunch of it in your stash, and then taking it out into a raid. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the nuances of what separates good Escape from Tarkov players from great Escape from Tarkov players. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So welcome to another Lessons from Beyond the Grave. This is a series where we take a look at clips from my stream where I died and we analyze what went wrong, what I did wrong, what I should have done, and what I can learn from this experience. Obviously, I don't claim to be one of those great Escape from Tarkov players. I'm trying to be that. I'm trying to learn how to get better all the time. And this is a great format to kind of analyze mistakes and look at those nuances of how to get better. So hopefully you guys can learn as I learn as well. If you like this format or if you like this video, think about dropping a like or commenting down below. We're getting really close to 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you like the content, think about hitting the subscribe button. That means a lot to me. So what we'll do is we'll watch the clip back in its entirety and I'll cut out any lulls or boring parts. And then we'll go back and kind of watch it again and talk through it. And then we've got a few clips kind of showcasing the same thing. The setup for this particular clip is I was playing with a buddy. We engaged on somebody this time. We only thought there was one. We put good shots on him. The enemy ended up killing my teammate. So now it's a one-on-one. And we saw the enemy go back into this power building. So I'm basically trying to figure out how to breach into this and how to go get this guy. So we'll go ahead and watch the clip.
Oh, I want my red dot back.
I heard him bad, by the way.
Yeah, he ran back into the power. Oh! I'm dead.
All right, so obviously no fun watching your own death back or anything like that, but there was a lot to unpack there. And really the core of this video, when we're talking about what separates a good player from a great player, it's awareness at all times. So like we said, the setup for this is that we engaged on a guy, we moved him, we pushed him into the power station. And the fear is always that you're coming up against somebody who's just gonna be holding angles and sitting and holding a really advantageous spot for a really long time. Fights like this, there's so much to talk about in here. Fights like this that last a really long time. A lot of times that tunnel vision on just the one enemy and only thinking about this one fight gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I feel that happening. We pushed this guy inside. I swapped my red dot over and I was just trying to figure out how to get in there, how to get this guy. I move into the office. I'm not sure if I want to breach in there. There's so many different angles he can be holding inside here, right? Like he can be in any one of the rooms, behind any of the stuff that's in there. He could be holding this door, the other door, the front side door. There's like multiple different ways to come in. He could be holding any one of them. He's not making any noise at all. He's just sitting. And so I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting impatient. I don't want to just sit here and wait. I don't want to wait him out, but I don't want to be dumb. And that's kind of the rub where, you know, you hear all the time, be aggressive, like PvP and Tarkov is all about being aggressive, but it's trying to figure out how to do that. So I'm trying to manage all that in my mind. I don't want this fight to go on forever. So I swing around and the goal here was to do a little jump free look on this front side door and try to see if I can get any information from him, to see if I can get him to shoot at me, to throw a grenade, shuffle, or anything. And here is the kind of the whole point of where it all fell apart. I just swung this corner and he's right there. You can see him. He's like not hidden at all as soon as I swing the corner. But my mind is on this door. I'm trying to see if I can do a little jump peek here and I start taking shots. And at the end of the day, it's the awareness. When you watch some of the best players in the game, no matter what they're doing, no matter where they've heard somebody, no matter where they know if somebody is, they're always taking corners like this and taking the time to raise their gun and check. When you watch any of the top players of Escape from Tarkov, you know that they take every opportunity, even if they're trying to be aggressive, to slow down and check their angles. So this is a situation where I didn't know that he had a buddy that was outside holding this car. I still think that the other guy, the original guy, was inside holding one of these doors, but this is really it. It's always being aware of your surroundings, always being aware of a third party, always being aware. It's not necessarily that it doesn't matter that these guys were together. It's that I'm swinging corners, I'm exposing myself to new areas of the map without checking them first. The right play here is to come up onto this corner and hug it to expose the least amount of my body, maybe ADS and check if anyone's coming down here, check if anyone's coming down the bridge that heard any of the original shots, check the car here, check to make sure this guy, the guy that's inside, hasn't gone out the mall facing door and then hooked to my right here. For all I know, this was the same guy. Check these angles, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Like, you don't have to sit there for, you know, minutes at a time checking all these angles, but really quick sweeps, really quick slowing your sprint, having your gun up, that allows you to react to so many of these unknowns so much quicker. So it's really just about the awareness, no matter what. Even if you know exactly where somebody is, even if you're making a push, even if you're executing on a plan, the awareness of what's around has to be there. Whether it's a third party, whether it's a teammate you don't know about, the awareness has to be there. And I just full Chad sprinted. I was trying to like keep that in my brain, you know, be aggressive, you know, kind of snuff out this rat or whatever, figure out where he is. And I let my guard down to other parts of the map. And this guy was able to just super easily plink away at me with his, you know, he had some cover, so only half of his body was exposed. And I was just totally not in the right mind frame. So we'll take a look at another clip where something very similar happens. So very similar thing happening here. I am with a duo. In this situation on customs, we actually, in this building, in the like the power button building, we killed a super juicer dude just before, and we heard his buddy outside the building. And so we were on the other side, kind of at that door by the train tracks. It was kind of a stalemate. The guy didn't want to push in. We didn't want to push out. We knew there was another one. So I go to make a longer flank, and this happens.
Bridge?
Yeah, something like that. Bridge or left side. Can you try peeking from like deep outside or going?
Yeah,
to
that's
water
kind
and
of
smoking the
what I
bridge
was
guy?
doing, yeah.
Like you can totally wrap all the way around water, go up tracks, and try to kill bridge guy, and then I'll push this guy. Yeah.
Well, I shot a scav in the face, and then he ran into the building.
Oh, where are
Okay,
you?
I'm making the long play around water to try and get the tracks guy. I'm dead. There was a guy, and he was like out in the courtyard. He was outside of water.
So another super frustrating death. You've got to play, you're trying to execute on it, and you just get one tapped out of nowhere. Now, this is a very similar situation here. Once again, you hear my teammate end up saying that there's two outside. So we originally killed a guy. I thought one guy was coming in, boom, he's dead. We hear bushes outside. Now it's a two-man. We're like, okay, well now there's another guy. While I'm making this push out, my teammate says there's two more alive out there, you know, maybe go make a long play. And then I died to another guy that ended up being with them, because after I died, my partner who was left ended up having to fight all three, and he died as well. And it comes down to the same thing. When I make this big push, what we just talked about with the other clip is always being aware of every angle at all time. And that sounds crazy. That sounds like a lot. And it's impossible to be aware of everything all the time. But when you look at a clip like this, yes, the other two guys, the other two people that we knew were alive, we knew for a fact they were over here. One was up on the train tracks here, and one was down by the bushes at that side of the building. So my thought is making this wide flank around that I can get a long angle on that. And that was a good play. That was a good flank. But if I let myself get tunnel vision to the fact that I'm not even looking for other enemies or scavs or anything around, then I'm exposing myself way too much. And I think this happens way more than people think. When they get into a fight, it's just super tunnel vision, super laser focus, and we're not thinking about how every action is either potentially calling other people around me, or if there's more people than we think. This was a situation where it just ended up being a four-man, but this same thing applies. This guy could have, in another raid, just been a third party that was out here questing or doing something and was chasing the original shots. I just think he was with these guys and either in here for something else or basically protecting this flank. But if we make a move and we make a plan and we kind of exclude everything else that's happening in the raid, this is going to happen. So when I'm making my push around here, yes, there's a lot of angles to cover, and you can see him right here. So that's the guy. He ends up moving back behind the forklift. He stands behind the forklift and gets a really good shot on me while I'm running. So in this case, he was harder to spot than in the other clip where the guy was right in front of me. But look at all of this hard cover that I'm running past and not even really doing anything about. Like this right here, where I'm just running directly down this path in this like super open line, knowing that there could be somebody in here, there could be somebody moving from this side, or there even could be somebody along the hill, I should have made my pathing and my movement much more unpredictable. I could have swung around this cover. I could have, instead of going like basically straight through the open, I should have ran to cover and then moved cover to cover to cover to cover. You don't have to stop an ADS every time you hit a piece of cover at all the angles, but there's so much stuff that blocks and maybe would have had him potentially miss his first shot, and I'm just running straight through the open courtyard, full sprint, just believing that all of the enemies are over there exactly where I know where they are and not really considering anything else. So I know it kind of almost feels like tiny little nitty gritty, like semantic details, like really, but once again, if you study some of the greatest players, this is how they act. When they're out in the open, they make sure there's cover by them. When they're in a new place, they're checking all their angles, and it allows them to react to the unpredictability of the raid. I talk about all the time where with the spawns and with the way Tarkov is right now, a lot of times it comes across really predictable. It's like, oh, well, these guys are going to be here. These guys are going to be here. And that kind of trains us. That's trained me to have really bad behaviors around moving around when I'm in a fight. You need to be ready for the unpredictable. You need to be ready to react to anything new that happens. And that's how you survive more raids. That's how you become a great Escape from Tarkov player. And that's very obviously something I'm still working on. And in this situation, I just kind of let all my guard down, pushed across to where I wanted to be, and it ended up costing me. So that's kind of it when we're talking about what separates a good Escape from Tarkov player from a great Escape from Tarkov player. This video is really just about that awareness at all times. Is there a third party? Is there a scav? Is there a scav boss? Does this guy maybe have more people than I thought? How aware am I? Am I checking these angles? Am I moving to cover? Am I exposing myself to too many different angles? So I hope that this helped. I hope that this gave you some food for thought. Once again, it seems like such a small thing, but this small thing, I've seen it in my own gameplay get me killed a lot, and I've seen it in other people's gameplay save them a lot because they were ready for something unexpected. So hopefully this helps, and you can apply this to start surviving more of your raids in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel for more content like this. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch all the time. All my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey. And if you're looking for people to play Tarkov with, our Discord server is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.